Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation. This program is suitable for general viewing.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is the 23rd of August 2024. A very good morning to you and welcome to Horizon TV. This is the Muslim Insight. My name is Zamzam Ahmed. Today we have so much lined up for you in all sectors across the country. But before that, let's have the headline.
The moment you introduce that newborn into this world, the second day, before even the birth certificate is released, the death certificate is issued.
Standing for humanity, Voices for Palestine Gaza Fund drive raises over 1.2 million Kenya shillings.
Patient is a patient. There's no religion when it comes to any patient.
Treatment abroad. Many Kenyans seek medical treatment abroad, with India emerging as a preferred destination. Israel-Gaza war. Death toll increases as 9 more Palestinians killed in Israel strike in central Gaza. Thank you so much for staying here with us at Horizon TV. My sign language interpreter is Abdul Wahab Ali. Now on to our top story is that on Sunday, Adam Zakid Mosque on Gong Road, Nairobi, played host to an event that brought together business people, religious leaders and Islamic organizations to raise funds for medical and food aid for the people of Gaza. The initiative was spearheaded by the Voices for Palestine Kenya and included participation from prominent groups such as Jamia Mosque Nairobi, the Supreme Council of Kenya Muslim SUPKEM, the National Muslim Leaders Forum NAMLEF, Council of Imam and Preachers of Kenya CIPK, Kenya Association of Muslim Medical Professionals, Masjid Al-Amin Park Road and Parklands Mosque, among others.
During the event, Sheikh Abdurrahman Ishaq, the resident imam at Parklands Mosque Nairobi, urged Muslims to continue donating, emphasizing the importance of unity and support among the Muslim community for the sake of Allah.
A lot of Muslims, especially in Kenya, a lot of us think that all what we can do is du'as and financial support. All what we can do is make du'as, and that's all what we can do, that's all what is within our ability. No, that's not all what is within our ability. There's so much within our ability which we need to know, and we also need to get together as a community to brainstorm on many other aspects that we can leverage for the Palestinian cause.
Various businesses contributed their sales proceeds to the cause, which will be used to provide critical medical and food assistance to those affected in Gaza. The event featured key discussions led by Sheikh Badru Jafar, Reverend Timothy Njoya, and other scholars who highlighted the significance of the fundraiser for the people of Palestine.
As Muslims, we've gathered here today in Nairobi to show our solidarity. It's the least we can do for our Muslim brothers and sisters who are suffering a lot in Palestine. They have been oppressed for the last 1 year now. It is with extreme pain that we feel really extremely helpless, that those who are in positions of authority, who are in position of making a statement, making a stand, taking action, are not doing much. So the least we can do is come together and make dua and pray to Allah and donate for those who are in need.
Our problem in Palestine is not the Jews. Our problem is the occupation. Our problem is colonization. Our problem is that these people have subjugated us, they have taken our land, and they are doing all these atrocities. This is our problem.
The event successfully raised over 700,000 Kenyan shillings, which will be directed towards aiding those displaced by the conflict in Gaza, where over 82,000 people have been injured and 40,000 have lost their lives.
We should put ourselves in the shoes of the Gazans and Palestinians. As a mother, you bear a child for 9 months, and for 9 consecutive months, difficulty upon difficulty. It's not easy. Wahnan ala wahn, as the Quran says. A burden upon burden, pain upon pain, difficulty upon difficulty. The moment you introduce that newborn into this world, the second day, before even the birth certificate is released, the death certificate is issued. But these mothers are not shaken. These fathers are not shaken. These brothers, these family members who have lost 50, 60, 70, 100 family members are not shaken. We have to ask ourselves why.
Reverend Timothy Njoya praised the organizers for bringing together different faith communities in support of the people of Gaza. He emphasized the importance of interfaith cooperation in addressing global humanitarian crisis.
The rights of one group as having more priority, that would be like ethnic cleansing, like Israel is doing to the Muslims and the others in today. And that's why even a country like South Africa has recognized the Hamas, because they are actually fighting for human rights, not simply for Muslim rights.
Sheikh Ahmed also highlighted the event as a powerful demonstration of solidarity, urging continued support for the people of Gaza through such collective efforts.
Ningeomba ndugu zetu wote wakiwa Waislamu si Waislamu wasimame na hawa ndugu zetu ili vita iweze kusimamishwa, na ni hasara kubwa sana kwa ndugu zetu wa Palestina, na tunamwomba Mwenyezi Mungu aweze kukubali waliofariki kama mashuhada na walioumia, Mwenyezi Mungu aponeshe, na pia awajalie waweze kupata nchi yao ambayo itakuwa ni Palestina.
Reporting for Muslim Insight, my name is Mariam Sa.
إنما يؤخرهم ليوم تشخص فيه الأبصار.
MashaAllah, what a beautiful story from our reporter Mariam Musa. And if you want to contribute to this noble cause, maybe you can use the paybill number is 150770 and the account name is Gaza Medical. Now moving on to our other story is that government spokesperson Dr. Isaac Mwaura has said over 43,000 public servants above 60 years are expected to retire in the next 5 years to pave way for jobless youths. Addressing the nation on Thursday, Mwaura said that this year alone there will be over 7,000 job vacancies for young people. According to him, it is the number of those who are under permanent pensionable and those who are under contracts, bringing the number of job vacancies to around 46,000. President William Ruto on July 5th directed public servants aged 60 and above to proceed to retirement. In measures to cut cost of running government, he said there will be no extension of tenures for civil servants.
Arising from the public feedback attained from the recent happenings in the country, His Excellency President William Ruto on Friday, 5th July 2024, pronounced himself on a number of austerity measures to be undertaken during the financial year 2024-2025, which included reorganization of the government. The measures are in an effort to fulfill his commitment to continuously and effectively listen to the people and apply their contribution towards enriching policy making and governance. Part of the feedback included a requirement that public servants who attain the retirement age of 60 years to be released to proceed on retirement immediately. This is also aimed at paving way for the hiring of younger persons. I wish to report that the President issued a directive on this requirement, and it is already being implemented. Some 39,360 civil servants are expected to retire from this service in the next 5 years based on the June 2024 payroll. This is in addition to 7,477 officers who have retired between 13 September 2023 and 30th June 2024. These officers are from state departments, county executives, and county assembly. The payroll also shows that a total of 43,976 officers are aged 55 years and above and are expected to retire between this year and the year 2029, with a total of 7,662 poised to retire in this financial year alone.
And on a follow-up story about the ICDC curriculum is that the Muslim Education Council MEC organized orientation and induction for madrasa teachers from across the country. The 4-day workshop aimed to equip madrasa teachers with the necessary tools and skills to enable them implement madrasa curriculum that is set to be piloted in selected institutions to ascertain its viability in molding learners morally and socially. During the induction, to build capacity of madrasa teachers and enhance on their professionalism, teachers were taken through various concepts with focus on the madrasa curriculum, interpretation of the curriculum designs, among other topical areas for effective implementation. The Deputy Chief Qadi Sheikh Sukian Hassan Omar, also the chief guest, said the madrasa curriculum plays a crucial role in shaping the educational experience of students in the integrated schools, as well as emphasizes on religious and moral subjects.
As you all aware, education is the key to social and economic development of any nation worldwide. It is therefore the responsibility of all education stakeholders in every country to ensure the curriculum offered in the learning institutions is of the highest quality possible. The main aim of the madrasa curriculum is to entrench true Islamic values and morals that produce good citizens who participate actively in social and economic development of the country, as well as in bringing up families that are well prepared to live harmoniously with other members of the community.
The workshop focused on improving the teachers' ability to deliver the Islamic curriculum effectively, ensuring that students receive a well-rounded education grounded in Islamic teachings.
This training has been organized by the Muslim Education Council to create an environment where your teaching skills and professionalisms are enhanced to enable you to become a more effective teacher. As a teacher, you are expected to understand the learners you teach and be able to handle them properly based on that understanding.
According to the Muslim Education Council MEC Chairman Muhammad Zafar Niaz, the council is going to engage the Teachers Service Commission TSC to retrain Muslim teachers available, appealing to all stakeholders and madrasa teachers to send any suggestions they have to achieve inclusivity.
Imagine the amount of resources that we've spent developing this curriculum. It's a lot of money. Donors have given funds for that. Now, the same money that they are spending, the other organizations, they could have used it for better purposes, to implement a curriculum. Come up and tell us that we have gone wrong here. Fine, we are willing. That's what I said earlier. Muslim Education Council is open to constructive criticism. You can take that, write it down anywhere, and I promise you that you will not get a challenge from Muslim Education Council.
Last week, the Islamic Curriculum Development Council ICDC held a capacity building workshop aimed at enhancing the skills of madrasa teachers in understanding and interpreting the ICDC syllabus.
The one-day event was held at the Nairobi Muslim Academy in South Sea, drawing educators from various madrasas in Nairobi.
And on matters of education is that teachers across the nation are gearing up for a major strike scheduled for Monday, August 26th. This is after the government and teachers headed on a coalition course after the Teachers Service Commission (TSC) announced they will not be able to honor a collective bargaining agreement signed between the two parties in 2023 following budget cuts. The strike comes at a critical time for students, particularly those preparing for their final exams. With classrooms set to be empty, the potential impact on education is significant, and the disruption could have far-reaching consequences for students at all levels. As tension builds, we take a closer look at how this strike could affect students and their future.
Hapa ushauri wangu ni kwamba walimu pia wanahitaji kulegeza msimamo, na kama mahitaji yao ni makubwa wakae kwa meza na serikali, at least waje katika point ambayo inawezekana. Maana mwalimu kwa kugoma inamaanisha kwamba kuna kila anahitaji. Unaona, kama mwalimu. So ushauri wangu kama kwa wanafunzi ni mwanafunzi ajielewe. Ajielewe kama mimi ni mimi na mwalimu ni mwalimu. Unajua hapa kuna mambo mawili. Huyu ni mwalimu, ana mahitaji yake yale ambayo anahitaji, na huyu ni mwanafunzi, wewe pia mwanafunzi una mahitaji yako. Mwalimu mahitaji yake ni yapi? Ni kwamba yeye anahitaji apate mshahara mzuri, apate facility mzuri. Okay, mali ya facilitation huenda watashirikiana wote kwa mwanafunzi lakini kimshahara labda anataka ajiimarishe kimaisha yake. Na mwanafunzi angetaka kujua kwamba nahitaji masomo yangu nifanye kuyaimarisha yawe imara, so that niweze kufika katika level nyingine.
And in matters of health issue is that seeking medical treatment abroad has become increasingly popular among Kenyan patients, with India emerging as preferred destination. In a bid to introduce their high-quality, affordable and transparent healthcare services to the Kenyan public, Yashfin Group of Hospitals based in Gujarat, India, held a series of meet and greet events across 5 major counties in Kenya.
The initiative, spearheaded by the hospital's management, aimed to inform Kenyans about the state-of-the-art medical services that Yashfin Group of Hospitals offers.
We are here in Kenya. As we have seen past, there are many patients suffering from different problems. So we are here to create the awareness to the people of Kenya to have the best treatment, the best facility and best services which will be provided by Yashfin Group of Hospital in India.
The meet and greet was held in Nairobi, Nakuru, Eldoret, Kisumu and Mombasa, drawing the attention of members of the public who often choose India as their favorite destination for specialized treatments.
Msichana wangu alikuwa mgonjwa kidogo, alikuwa na gallbladder stones, so nilikuwa na contact za Yashfin Hospitals. So nikaongea na person who's in charge, Mr. Lukman, na aliweza kunitumia invitation, kunifanyia mpango wa namna wa kupata visa nini kila kitu. Na nikafika kule, nikapokelewa na wao. Wakatuma driver wao, wakanipokea, wakanipatia nyumba kule, the same mtoto akatibiwa, akafanya operation. Na alhamdulillah ilikuwa mzuri sana, ilifanywa vizuri sana. It took like 3 hours, 4 hours operation kwa sababu alikuwa na gallbladder stones.
Speaking to the Muslim Insight, during the meet and greet session in Nairobi, Lukman Vaid, the medical representative of international patients, said Yashfin Hospital offers world-class medical services at a fraction of the cost compared to other hospitals in the same country.
Many patients are traveling to India for the treatment. There must be some reason. The first thing must be the cost, the facility, the services. Maybe sometimes those facilities which are not available in the particular country, so they more or less prefer to travel to India to get the proper treatment, I think. Patient is a patient. There's no religion when it comes to any patient, whether if he or she is poor or rich or belong to other religion.
Each year, thousands of Kenyans travel to India in search of quality, specialized and affordable medical treatment.
I had my daughter who was sick. I took her to Yashfin in March this year. We were there for about 1 month. As soon as we landed in Mumbai, there was a driver and a car that took us to the hospital. We did a full checkup on her, and they confirmed the disease. Then they started treating her. Needless to say, the cost of her treatment there was less than half what we could have paid here in Kenya. Alhamdulillah, my daughter is doing very well now, and I was also treated. Her mother also, we got treatment from there, and I would like to recommend this hospital to all Kenyans.
Kenyans prefer to travel for treatment in India to get out of pain rather than to suffer the anxiety and frustrations of waiting for far future appointments and other medical uncertainties in Kenya. Kasim Mustafa for the Muslim Insight.
What a great service you get from Yashfin Hospital, according to the beneficiaries of that hospital. Thank you so much, Mustafa Kasim, for that report. Now moving on to other stories is that Kenyan schools urged to take a stand against the widespread corruption plaguing the nation. The remarks were made by Deputy Chief Qadi Sheikh Sukian Hassan Omar during the National Madrasa Training Workshop held at Islamia College, highlighting the detrimental effects of corrupt practices on the country's future. Sheikh Sukian called for the establishment of a strong identity rooted in ethical values within the educational institutions. His message comes at a critical time as Kenya grapples with numerous corruption scandals that have eroded public trust in institutions. By instilling values that cherish and protect the nation's future, schools can play a pivotal role in nurturing a generation that will lead Kenya towards a more transparent and accountable society.
There is this cancer of corruption which has penetrated everywhere, especially at the high school level, at the primary level, especially during when the final exams, the KCSE and the KCPE. That's just too much. Even admission to the colleges, to the high schools, is obtained through corruption. The school we have, our own schools, our private schools, they say it's not mindful of the weaker and the poor members of our society. Those schools were said to be so much expensive. It's not a school for every one of us. Everybody is running after money. Our colleges, our schools must have an identity, must have values which we cherish and protect. There is this.
Elsewhere in the northeastern region is that with an aim of promoting public police relations in fighting crime, Garissa County security officials in Garissa have conducted friendly football matches with members of the public. There has been rising crime in the past 1 month, perpetrated by young people on motorbikes carrying knives, machetes, and in one case guns. The town has experienced insecurity incidents in the last 2 weeks, with people killed, mugged, stabbed, and shops broken into by armed criminals. The crime rate rise has also been associated with drug abuse in Garissa town, school dropouts, and lack of jobs. Garissa County Commissioner Mohamed Mabudzo, while presenting a trophy and cash prizes to the winners and second runners-up, said Peace and security is a shared responsibility, and the police and the public must work together. The marches were sponsored by the International Organization for Migration IOM, the Border Management Secretariat, and the National Counter-Terrorism Center NCTC.
Kusudi letu hasa kushirikiana na wadau hawa ilikuwa ni kuleta umoja miongoni mwa wakazi wa Garissa, hususan hasa vijana na maafisa walinda usalama. Nafikiri tumetimiza jukumu hilo na tunataraji kwamba ujumbe huu utafikia wale vijana wengine ambao wasingeweza kujumuika nasi siku hii ya leo. Ujumbe ni mmoja tu, kwamba Garissa tunaweza kudumisha usalama. Na jukumu la kudumisha usalama ni letu sote. Maafisa wa usalama wako nyanjani kuanzia saa 12 ya jioni hadi saa 12 ya asubuhi, halikadhalika masaa ya mchana. Tarajia kwamba watapata ushirikiano kule mashinani wanakoenda, waweze kupashwa habari kuhusu wale wahalifu ambao huenda ikawa wamejificha miongoni mwa jamii.
Sisi tunataka ili hiyo ipatikane, ndio tupate timu ya polisi na jeshi, amani idumishwe, ndio wapate nafasi ya kutrain, na nyinyi mpate nafasi ya kupata, because hapo wale wanacheza ni locals peke yao. Watu inatakana uweke kitu kidogo supu. Kuna yule striker wa polisi ni mzee, lakini unaona anatumia ujuzi. So when you get different people with different talent from different area, we produce the best. Sindio? So tunataka tudumishe amani ili hawa watu ambao askari wanatumwa nje wawe tuna train hapa.
Last but not least, on matters of Israel-Gaza war, at least 9 Palestinians were killed and several injured in an Israeli airstrike on a marketplace in the central Gaza city of Deir al-Balah on Tuesday. The death toll is likely to rise as many of the injured are in serious condition. The targeted area was classified by the Israeli army as a civilian safe zone and its ongoing offensive on the Gaza Strip. The market was crowded with people at the time of the attack, as it is located near a station serving the Mawasi area west of Khan Yunis, which Israel classified as a safe zone for Palestinian civilians.
The attack came shortly after at least 12 people were killed in an Israeli strike in a school sheltering displaced people in the Gaza city on Tuesday. Israel has systematically targeted civilian facilities including schools, hospitals and places of worship amid its ongoing attacks on the Gaza Strip, despite a UN Security Council resolution demanding an immediate ceasefire. According to local health authorities, the Israeli onslaught on Gaza has killed over 40,170 Palestinians, mostly women and children, and injured more than 92,740 since October 7. Israel is accused of genocide at the International Court of Justice, which ordered it to immediately halt its military operation in the southern city of Rafah, where more than 1 million Palestinians had sought refuge from the war before it was invaded on May 6. Salma Salim, The Muslim Insight.
Now that report from Salma Salim brings us to the end of our first segment of The Muslim Insight. Join me in the second segment as we have a conversation on the young author from the Kushaiti community. Stay tuned.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Kuna faida gani twapata tukimjua Mtume sallallahu alaihi wasallam,
nabii mwenye ushawishi mkubwa duniani?
Tukizikwa tukitiwa kaburini, tutaulizwa haya maswali matatu: man rabbuk, ma dinuk, man nabiyuk.
Sheikh Jamaluddin anakupa simulizi.
Huwezi kumpenda mtu usiyemjua
na kutambua sunna zake,
lakini ukimjua na ukimtambua Mtume Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, mapenzi yako yatazidi.
Ufahamu Rasulullah, familia na maswahaba wake, Tazama sira ya mtume kila Jumatatu saa 1 jioni kwenye Horizon TV.
Kiumbe dhaifu lakini jasiri.
Alitunukiwa sura nzima,
sura inayompa daraja yake inavyostahiki. Sharti ajigambe.
Naam, na pepo ipo chini ya nyayo zake.
Mpamba nyumba na nyoyo za wapendwa wake.
Anayebeba majukumu yake pasina kupinga.
Mtazamaji, je, unamfahamu anayezungumziwa?
Bila ya kusahau hadhi yake na haki zake.
Ungana nami Rahma Swaleh na Sheikh Juma Amir
tukuelimishe na kukupa mwelekeo katika maisha ya ndoa
kwenye kipindi Dira ya Mwanamke,
kila Jumapili saa 2 usiku majira ya Afrika Mashariki ndani ya Horizon TV.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rrajim. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون.
Enyi mlioamini, munapoitwa kuhudhuria sala ya Ijumaa, fanyeni haraka kuikimbilia, muache biashara zenu. Hilo ni bora ikiwa mwelewa.
Isikilizeni kwa umakinifu khutba ya Ijumaa
ili uzidi kujenga imani yako na kupata faida nyingi ya siku hii.
Coming to you every Friday from Jamia Mosque, Nairobi.
Live on Horizon TV.
Kitabu chenye uongofu kilichoteremshwa kwa mpangilio maalum.
Sura ikiitwa Madania inamaanisha iliteremshwa Mtume sallallahu alaihi wasallam alipokuwa kwa Madina.
Kila sura imepewa jina rasmi na sababu zake za kimsingi.
Inaitwa Suratun Nisa'il Kubra, sura ya wanawake kubwa.
Fahamu sababu za kuteremshwa Qur'an na matukio ya kipekee katika utaratibu huu.
Asema Mwenyezi Mungu wa Nuha, nakumbukeni kisa cha Nuh, tumpomlingania kabla, tukamjibu yale mambo aliyoyaomba, tukawa mwenye kumwokoa yeye na ahli yake.
Ungana na Profesa Muhammad Salim Badamana katika malengo ya Qur'an kila siku ya Jumapili saa 11 kamili jioni katika Horizon TV.
Kuna faida gani twapata tukimjua Mtume sallallahu alaihi wasallam?
Nabii mwenye ushawishi mkubwa duniani.
Tukizikwa tukitiwa kaburini, tutaulizwa haya maswali matatu: man rabbuk, ma dinuk, man nabiyuk.
Sheikh Jamaluddin anakupa simulizi.
Huwezi kumpenda mtu usiyemjua
na kutambua sunna zake,
lakini ukimjua na ukimtambua Mtume Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, mapenzi yako yatazidi.
Ufahamu Rasulullah, familia na maswahaba wake. Tazama sira ya Mtume kila Jumatatu saa 1 jioni kwenye Horizon TV. Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is exactly 35 minutes past 8 in the morning. We are on our second segment of the Muslim Insight. And before I took a short break, I told you that we are going to have a guest who is an author, who is a young author from the Kushite community. We are going to look into the art of storytelling. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Zamzam.
Fatuma A. Gelle. Welcome to Horizon TV.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. How are you feeling this morning?
I feel excited.
MashaAllah.
Looking forward.
Glad to have you here at Horizon TV. We are having this conversation on matters of the art of storytelling. You are a young author. You come from the Kushite community. Maybe tell us about your journey. Tell us who Fatuma A. Gelle is.
Thank you. My name is Fatuma Gelle. I am a poet and the author of Soulful, a recently published poetry book. I just turned 21 years old yesterday.
MashaAllah.
And I have finished most of my schooling in Nairobi, Garissa. I was born and lived most of my life in Nairobi. And what influenced, I've been writing since 2019, ever since I was, I think, 15, 16 years old.
So it started from writing poems to now writing a book.
Yeah.
MashaAllah, that is really amazing. Maybe tell us who Fatuma is, from where you were born to right now that you are writing.
Okay, as early, like I remember when I was young, even in our family, reading culture is highly emphasized. It's highly encouraged. So as early as 8, I've started to write, but I didn't know at that time that I was going to be an author one day. I just knew that I just like to express my emotions, whether vocally or just in written format. So my family, my father has been young before I went and ventured into schooling and started elementary school. And my mother, she's the one who encouraged me. She would buy me novels. I remember till now, to this age, she buys me books so that I can have, a continuous reading streak. Even though these past few days, my reading streak has declined because I've been very much focused on my book. And my grandmother, Subanka here, she's the person who has been of the biggest support. She's my greatest support system. She's the one who has influenced most of my writings and everything. I remember when I said I was 8 years old when I started to write. She is the one who has been emphasizing that I should have a continuous writing streak. So she will teach me about my cultural heritage, where I came from, my origins, my cultural beliefs, practices, our values. So that's when I developed a passion for writing. So I remember when I was Form 2, I started to journal. That's when I started, okay, I would like to be an author. Actually, I think I was 12 years old when I thought one day I would like to be an author, but I didn't know how to go about it. I didn't know how I would be an author. It was a far-fetched dream. And 2018, I was Form 2. That's when I started to write few poems here and there, even though I have lost those poems, unfortunately. But 2019, that's when I've started something very much permanent. It was disciplined and detail-oriented.
You're talking about 8 years. I'm just trying to imagine, where was I 8 years? What was I thinking at 8 years? Anyway, that's really inspiring because you find that not most parents are so supportive. You are talking about your grandmother being your support system. Maybe what really inspired you to write?
What really inspired me to write? I will say myself, because I believe I am a very much expressive person. I like to tell people how I feel. I believe that's the only way to be your true self, to live authentically. So what inspired me to write was, I felt like when I was writing, I was my most authentic self. I didn't have any fear of judgment. I didn't have any fear of what ifs and what nots. And so I was like, this is my most authentic self. This is the person who I am, and I would like to share it with the world.
Okay, so it's all about your dream.
Yeah.
You
desire.
wanted to be an author.
Yeah.
That is what inspired you.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe how do you approach storytelling? Do you really have a particular pattern, a particular way of doing it?
Well, I actually don't follow rules. I don't restrict myself. So I just write intuitively. I write whenever I feel most creative. And I don't follow a particular format. I'll say the format that I use in my poems are free verse. So there's no restrictions. Yeah.
Let's talk about personal experience, probably. How does your personal experience influence your writing?
My personal experiences.
Okay. Yeah.
Death. Death influenced me a lot. Even though, alhamdulillah, I know we are all going to die one day, and كل نفس ذائقة الموت. But even though I haven't lost much of my close beloved ones, I lost relatives.
Okay.
And death influenced me. I was like, since we are all going to die one day, we are all going to be going to the afterlife.
Yeah.
This world is just nothing but a short span of time. So I said I have to present my book and my work to the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've talked about you being your inspiration to writing the book Soulful, right?
Yeah.
Maybe definitely there are some other writers, or maybe there are some other books that you've seen. Maybe could you tell us that the books or the writers that has influenced your style of writing?
Okay. Even though I read a lot of books, mostly fictional, sometimes self-development, I try to. The authors that have influenced my writing are Maya Angelou and Warsan Shire. She's a Somali poet.
So those are the writers that you've engaged in this?
Yes.
MashaAllah, that is really amazing. This is your first time writing?
Yeah, it's my first book. Yeah.
But I trust you have an experience in writing poems.
Yeah.
Maybe how has the journey been for you?
The journey has been everything but easy. And alhamdulillah, the start is where like the most problems are. When you start, you finishing, it will be all right.
Okay.
So my journey has been okay. Alhamdulillah, I'm very much lucky and blessed to have a family who are very much supportive. But starting it was the hardest part because I was my biggest critic. So I feared venturing into this industry and presenting my book to the outside world. So starting has been the biggest challenge.
Yesterday, I had a friend who was asking me, the moment I posted that poster on my status, he was asking me, do you have the synopsis?
Yeah.
I told him no.
Unfortunately, I could have shared it.
Like, maybe, are you in a position to tell us the themes that are in the book?
Okay, just a brief overview.
Yeah.
Okay, so my book, Soulful, it's a poetry anthology. It covers several aspects from life, love, family issues, and self-discovery, mortality, and the afterlife. So those are the main broad themes. Obviously, there's going to be some small themes here and there, but those are the major themes.
Okay. How maybe do you choose your themes or issues that you want to discuss in your books? How do you go about it?
As I said, I don't...
You've talked about love, you've talked about family.
Social issues.
Yeah.
As I said, I don't have a strict routine. And I try to balance my creativity with a discipline, a bit of it. So my themes, they came about either from my personal experiences and as a tool to express myself. And, the themes, when I'm writing them, my poems, I try most of the times, they should be either from my personal experience or they should have social relevance. So I try to balance between those two.
Okay. It's all about getting people to know all about love, to know all about family, social life. Maybe what are other things that you want your readers to go away with from the book other than what you have written there?
Other than what I have written, I would like my readers to take from my book comfort. I want them to have like a shared understanding that they are not alone, but I would like to encourage them to know that obviously you're not going to be alone. We need a community, we need family, we need friends, we need, you know, the whole community, the society at large. But you have to be on your own. You have to be your biggest rock at first. You have to believe in yourself first. And I want them to know that. I want them to see their own reflections in my poems. I want them to feel comfortable. I want them to feel seen and heard. And I want them to take from my book the courage to speak their voices, to speak their truth and be their authentic self.
You find that there are so many people who feel like they are not, you've talked about comfortability.
Yeah.
You want people to feel comfortable through your reading.
Yes.
What would happen to these people who don't like feel comfortable? They don't have that courage. How would you influence them?
I would say everything starts from the mind. So the comfort and everything from your pursuing your goals and everything, it has to start from your mind. So I want them to go for their dreams, but they should just get rid of the mental blocks, the mental barriers, because that's what limits every one of us from achieving their goals. That's the only thing.
Okay. So where does one start, when does one start writing? Maybe is there an age limit to where when you should start writing?
No, I don't think there should be restrictions on anyone. You can start at a young age or at an elderly age.
What's the benefit probably of maybe starting at a younger age?
I'll say that I'll say that you start to grow. You will learn more, and I'd say that the youth have like more fragile minds. I think their mind can consume a lot of things, because when one becomes elderly, maybe it will be hard to absorb some things. So it's like emphasized. I really encourage that parents should emphasize education, reading, just like in my family, alhamdulillah. Education and reading are the most valuable things in our family, and they should be highly emphasized and encouraged. Children should start reading storybooks at a young age, as early as even 2 if possible.
As far as technology is concerned, you're talking about launching your book. Have you ever thought of having the digital, having you publishing your stories on online platforms?
Yes.
How do you take it?
Okay, so now I've taken the route of the traditional publishing. I've went with that, and hopefully after the book launch and the physical copies are sold, inshallah my books will be available to the even international world, hopefully on Amazon.
Okay.
So that's the route I'm
you are
taking.
planning to launch and then you expose it
to the outside world. Yeah.
Okay, mashallah, that is really amazing. And if you can see, or you've observed the country, we can see that there are so many writers, young writers who are coming up, and especially
Female.
from the female and from the Kushaite community. Okay, what is your opinion, or in your opinion, what makes a story memorable?
What makes a story memorable?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I would say a story will be memorable when there's authenticity involved, when you are saying your truth and there's depth to it. That's what will make story memorable. And as for the young writers, especially the female authors who are coming about in our Kushaite community, I'm actually so proud of them. And I want them to know that it's not just writing a book. It's not just writing a simple book and just leaving it on the table and leaving it just like that. I would like to encourage them to continue with their writings if that's their passion. I want them to publish more books, to venture into the outside world and, to grow as a writer. And I think the young writers, the female writers, obviously, they're going to inspire more young girls to take up space, and, they are looking up to us. So we should give them something to look up to. Yeah.
That's really amazing. You talked about a personal experience.
Yeah.
What about how you balancing your creativity and with the responsibility of addressing serious social issues?
Okay.
How do you balance creativity with the responsibility?
As I said, and my book is mostly creativity. I'm a big imaginative person, and I feel most creative when I'm living just in the present moment. I am living to the fullest. So how do I balance creativity with social issues?
With the
responsibility of addressing social issues. I try to be respectful about it, and diligent about it. So I have to maintain my own voice, my own unique style of writing, as well as addressing the social issues in a manner that is going to be respectful to the public. And addressing the social issues, some of them they are not really addressed in the mainstream media, especially by girls. Some social issues are highly discouraged. Some people will be telling you, don't be talking about such social issues.
Maybe you've talked about people are discouraging you from talking about the social issues that are affecting the community. Maybe what are the other challenges that you face throughout the journey of writing, throughout whatever you are writing in the book, The Soulful?
Okay. The challenges that I have faced are myself at first. That's the first one. As I say, the mind, everything. So obviously from a young age, I always knew in my life that one day I want to be an author. One day I would like to have a published book. One day, that was my dream. And as I said, it was a far-fetched dream. So the biggest challenge was each morning, every morning and every night, I'll wake up or go to sleep thinking about, okay, I want to write a book, but how do I go about it? How is my work going to be perceived by the public? What if it's not going to be good enough? What if it's not going to be welcomed with open arms? So that was my biggest challenge. The other challenges are minor. I don't think anything can get you if you don't let it get you. So the outside, the external factors, I don't think anything else can influence you if you are strong and you are standing your own stance. So the minor challenges here and there are people, even though I don't like to mention my aspirations to people who are not going to be supportive. And the people who were aware of that I was writing a book were my beloved ones, my family members, my parents, grandparents, and siblings, and my really close friends. My teachers as well, they were aware that I was writing poems that one day I would like to publish. So I will say that don't be telling people your goals and aspirations until it's, a final result. It's a final product that is ready. Because sometimes they can influence you and be like, okay, this is not going to be enough. Your own mind is the biggest problem, so don't let other things be added onto you. Okay, another minor challenge that I faced was after the publication, obviously, and I was inviting some people. I was inviting a relative of mine. She's a lady, and she asked me about what kind of social issues are you tackling in your book. I said the social issues that I'm addressing in my book are about war and FGM. And she was wide-eyed. She was like, what? FGM? Don't be talking about those kind of stuff. So I would say that imagine if I was starting the process and I took her opinions at the early age when I was publishing my book, when I was writing my book. Imagine if I let her opinions influence me. I wouldn't be coming with a book.
Killed you.
Yeah, obviously. So I'm glad that I didn't share with anyone who was going to discourage me.
What about the financial support?
Financial support, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. I am very much lucky and blessed to have my family members, my father, Abdurrahman Gelle, and my hoyo, my mother, my grandmother, and my maternal aunt. She's called Barlin. They are the ones who are my biggest supportive system.
MashaAllah, you really have a stronger supportive system.
Yeah, I'm so lucky.
What about those people around you? You've talked about not sharing your goals, your inspiration, your aspiration with people.
Yeah.
Maybe if God forbid that maybe you did not have that strong support system from your family, what would you have done? Like you are having this thought in mind that you want to write, what would you have done? Maybe you did not have
the support system I have. It will be really unfortunate. What I believe in is that my biggest core values are faith and community. So if I didn't have a support system, I would say it will be hard, you know, to go about with the expenses, obviously, on the publication, printing, and the launch, everything.
It's a lot.
You know, you need the resources.
Yeah.
The resource that you need, obviously, I had the time because I'm really young, and I had the energy. I'm young, so, but the resource that I needed most, like, if I didn't have a support system like my family, it will be really hard to get resources from other places.
MashaAllah, you really have a blessed family.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
May Allah make it easy for you throughout the journey.
Ameen.
Anyway, something else about writing. It is your first book.
Yeah, it is.
It is your first time. So what is your future plan as far as writing is concerned?
Well,
are you planning to write another book?
There are more upcoming projects coming up soon, inshallah. Maybe after this book launches, in this year, hopefully. There are upcoming projects coming up, inshallah.
Okay. I know you talked about the advice, but I would really love you to put an emphasis on what advice you will give to young writers, especially those from the Kushite community.
Okay, in our Somali community, because I'm a Somali, in our Somali community, we are not much of a readers, unfortunately, because I think knowledge is power. So I would like to emphasize, we adopt a reading culture. We read a lot, we should be reading a lot, because I think if someone is really informed on certain things, you're going to be, you know, you can take new decisions, you can take a lot of things, you can do a lot of things.
Maybe other than the Kushite community, we have so many people who are watching you right now.
Yeah.
What would you tell them about this journey?
About this journey?
Yeah.
Particularly about...
Like your advice to them.
Okay. Advice to them is just going to be the same, to go for whatever their heart and soul desires, to stay, like, to live fully in the moment, to be authentic, to stay true to yourself, because it's only one life you get, and you're not going to live for, I don't know, more than 100 years, and if you do, okay, you're blessed, but it's not going to be, you're not going to be living your whole life, like, all life, life in action.
Okay, you will be launching the book this coming Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Maybe could you like give us
details
on what will happen on that day? What are you planning to do when it will start? Like, give us the details.
Okay, my book will be launching on 25th of August, this coming Sunday. It's going to be, the program will start from 2 to 6 p.m. There are going to be speakers, you know, guests, honorable members, and there will be Q&A discussions. We are going to have readings from my book, and you can have a moment to connect with, I can have a moment to connect with my readers on a personal level, face to face. So I'm looking forward to it, and it's going to be launched at the Gelle Palace Hotel in Islay 12th Street.
Yeah. Are there any entrance fee required?
No, there's no entrance fee, just if you're going to buy the book.
Okay, you talked about speakers. Definitely they'll talk to people, they'll give advice. What else are they going to go away with during from that event?
From that event, hopefully they take like a live experience from that. A dream now has become a reality, and I want to celebrate this milestone with them. And I hope, like, in that experience, they take a lot from it. And maybe one day, maybe I can attend a book launch of another girl that has been inspired by my work.
Okay, definitely it's not like, there are some people who might find it very challenging to be there, and they would want to get the book. Where can we get the book? How can we get the book?
Okay, after my book launch, the book is going to be available on Amazon. And for more information, people can follow me on Instagram, because that's where I post updates. So my Instagram will be shared on live.
What about the price of the book?
The price of the book is just 1,000.
You can as well share with us your handles, maybe how these people can get you.
Okay, my handle is at Words of Fatuma.
At Words of Fatuma.
Yeah.
Oh, mashallah, that is really amazing. I can see that time is really not on our side, but alhamdulillah, we've gotten to know more about the journey of writing. And to you, our viewers, to you back at home who are watching this live session with Fatuma A. Gelle, what do you know? What do you want to be It's like whatever you want to be, you can achieve it, like the way Fatuma A is saying here. It's all about your mind. It's all about comfortability. It's all about courage. And today, all the conversation was all about the art of storytelling. What you want to be, you can be, inshallah. Until next Friday, same place, same time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.